let's get into the opening salvo. Now, I again, when I was saying hello to everybody, I noticed there were some people in the chat that were like, "Hey, boom, this is kind of old news about uh, GSC Game World confirming that there's no PlayStation 5 version." And of course, yes, I did know that, but there was a story on IGN where they had did this interview with a few of the bigs over at GSC Game World. And the story, and again, this is an IGN story, so I want to give credit where credit is due. It was written by Wesley Yin Poole. It was updated on December 23rd, 2024 at 9:05 a.m. And the title is Following Stalker 2's Success, Developer GSC Game World contends with this new reality. And now it goes on to say a couple of quotes, and I'm going to try and read their names. I hope that I get it right. They interviewed quite a few people from the Stalker team, and basically, they were discussing the impact of the game. And obviously, it's a success, folks. It's shocked a lot of people. It has become now profitable for the company, which is a big deal. They have sold over 1 million copies, which again, 1 million copies is not a lot of copies considering that it's only on 2 platforms. But based on their admission, it has become profitable. So every copy that they sell, they are making money on on that title. So, which is a big deal for this small developer who obviously was displaced after, and what continues to be, the world is still watching what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. And it's, we've talked about this before. They lost developers to in the line of duty deaths defending their country. They had all of them, including their families, had to be uplifted to Prague, and to be moved and still figure out a way to finish a game after being invaded by another country. That's bonkers. So during this interview, and again, let me see if I can get the names correctly here. The article goes on to say, discussing the impact of Stalker 2's release in English, which is obviously not their first language. Levgin and Maria, who of course are married. It's Levgin. And I apologize if I destroy the name. Guy Grovovich. It looks like there's Maria and Levgin. They're a couple. They were in London to at the BAFTAs to discuss some of the things that the ongoings with Stalker 2. And some of the quotes that come from them are pretty incredible. They go on to say, you need to think properly because we now have a really big audience, and sometimes different parts of this audience wants to see different things. So we think now we need to live now with this new reality, with a live community and talking with them and trying to understand them maybe deeper, because we really want to make our relationship good. Around 5 years ago, or maybe 6 years now, we had a plan of what we were going to do in the nearest 10 to 15 years, what projects we wanted to do, how we were going to look like. And all of these years, we are slightly updating this plan by just moving the dates forward until we release the game. So I'm going to go first to Hargeet on this. Hargeet, this, again, it's a very big interview. I'm not going to read the whole article because the article is pretty lengthy. I will add the article to the show notes if you choose to read it for yourself, and you should give it a read. Hargeet, look, as we start to see more people find and discover Stalker, whether that be on PC, whether that be on Xbox, whether they play through Xbox Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass for PC, or they outright buy the game, every game sold moving forward is profitable for this small developer. I think that them coming out after it was reported by several sites that there was in fact a PlayStation 5 version coming out, and they debunked it immediately. there is no PlayStation 5 plan. They literally said it in the interview that at this time there is no PlayStation 5 version planned. And they're saying that because they are trying to add the additional content that was removed, that was taken out to kind of make the game a little bit smaller so they can get it done quicker. And also, it is going to be a couple of years, I would imagine, because they still have to continue to update what's happening. And again, if you remember, there was an update that had I think it was 1,800 fixes, which was ridiculous to consider. You usually see someone say, "Hey, studio, whoever, we just added a fix for this reported, thing by the community, and it's 3, it's 4, it's 5 fixes." They put out information where they updated and fixed 1,800 plus things. That's bonkers. But listen, no PlayStation 5 version. At this point, it's probably going to be a couple of years, I would imagine. PlayStation gamers, if you're waiting for Stalker 2, you just might want to play on PC or at some point get an Xbox. Let's get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, look, they have to focus on fixing it up. This has always been a challenging thing for them. I mean, there's so many challenges they've had, right? It's a studio that went through quite a bit of hell, as it were, to get this game done. So they've got quite a bit to fix up. Fair enough. There were also features that were missing that people were kind of annoyed by. They actually had a lawsuit, if memory serves, about missing some features. So I don't know how that went. Whatever. Hopefully that's all resolved or whatever. But if it's not, then that's something that they contend with. So look, they have to finish up what they need to finish up. That's fine. They need to focus on that. That makes sense. They launched on Xbox. That was their plan. Xbox PC. This is a PC game. Let's just be honest. It heavily resonates PC, right? This is a PC game. They're on the platform they really need to be on. The fact that they're on a console at all is fine. That's great. And, Xbox helped make the game. That's great. So which is why they're on the Xbox platform. So that's fine. And look, if they get to it at some point, they do put it on PlayStation. Awesome. Put it on Switch. That's awesome. For now, if you want to, play it, certainly PC is the place. That is really where their focus is. It is on console on Xbox. If you want to play it there, absolutely play it there. Much cheaper cost of entry for most people if you want to just get a Series S and play. But again, this is if you want to play Stalker. A Stalker is a very unique experience, right? So it's not for everyone, but for those who love it, it really is something they've really yearned for. And this is just it's a great thing for those who wanted it. It's finally out. It's there. There's still some work to be done. But they are working on 1,800 bugs in one shot. That's a lot. It's a lot of things to fix.
It is.
Hopefully it was there was a fix that fixed 500 of them in one shot or something like that. But if it really is 1,800 separate things, that's pretty crazy. But either way, is this a major thing? I don't know. Stalker has always been kind of a cult of its own, right? So I don't know how many PlayStation players are yearning for this that aren't already on PC. As I said, this is a PC game. This has been a PC game, and PC players have been the ones supporting this. So I don't know how well. Do we have a breakdown of how well it did on Xbox versus PC? But it's great that it's on console. It's great if it comes to other consoles. I don't want to lock it down or anything. Unless Microsoft buys the studio, a fair game that they put it wherever they want to after whatever exclusivity period they have. So I'm not here to lock it down, but the reality is they do have work to do, and they are in a precarious situation, right? Some of their team members are gone, literally gone. And then, they had to move, and they're doing whatever they can to get this thing out. It's taken time, and it's finally out. It's awesome that it's profitable already. That's great. So good for the studio. Hopefully that helps the people that are there. Hopefully they do something for the families of the unfortunate developers that are no longer with us. That's on them, but hopefully they do something there. But it's good news for the GSC. Potentially bad news for those who want to play this on a PlayStation or a Nintendo console. But ultimately, guys, if you really want to play this game, you can obviously get it on an Xbox. But this is very PC. It's very PC. So if you want to play it, it's probably the preferred platform anyway. But either way, like I hope that anybody who wants to play this game has access and they have it through one of those avenues, because I'm sure anybody who's been playing Stalker, it's likely they're playing on a PC and they're happily going to be playing it on PC anyways for Stalker 2. But yeah, I mean, it's a good focus to have, right? They need to fix up whatever they have. It certainly came out a little buggy. It also was lacking key features.
Yeah.
So they need to bring those features out. I like the focus. That's a good thing. It would be nice if it was on other consoles. But and on the flip side of this, and Boom, you want to have like the snarky response, PlayStation. Look, it's funny that they don't have it, but like this is what they do to Xbox players all the time, right? They'll lock down games all the time, and with third parties, I'm just not sure that that's such a great idea anymore. In this case, it was funded by Xbox to make the game happen altogether.
Indeed. Yeah.
Fair enough, right? Those kind of things, it's fair enough. I think that was the case of some of the games that PlayStation also locked down, where they paid to make the game happen. Fair enough. At some point,
that's
though,
business.
Open up.
So
yeah, and that's fine. In the case of this game, though, it is so like a PC game that I don't know how much of a percentage of console players will actually engage with it. Those who do engage with it, it's in Game Pass. Those who do engage with it, it is a very challenging game, right? So
it is
if you like
not
it,
a game for Boom. I can tell you that right now. I have died more times in the first hour of that game. And I'm like, yeah, this is just not for me. It's what it is. You said it, Hargeet. It is a very PC game.
Yeah. So look, and kudos to them to get it out. Kudos and congratulations that it's now profitable. That's awesome. And keep working on it. Get the game to be as bug free as possible, and get all the features out. And then if they have time, let's start. They can work on putting it on other platforms. I don't think Microsoft, Xbox, at least in the Phil era, is going to say no. I think he wants games to go as wide as possible.
Yeah.
But look, it starts out as an exclusive. It's probably going to be that probably for a year or two. Just looking at their roadmap of what they need to work on. So fair enough. If you want to play this now, my suggestion is still go to PC. That is where this game is going to shine. If you want to play it on console with a lower price of entry, you certainly can have a Series S or Series X. Enjoy playing it there. There's so many other games and Game Pass, right? So enjoy if you want to. But that is the thing. This game is really intended for PC players. So, but hey, it works on console. Enjoy it. If that's what you want to do, play now. You can do that. If you don't have FOMO, you can wait, and hopefully at some point it does come. They haven't confirmed, though, that it ever will, right? So just keep that in mind. It may never happen, right? They may just move on and say, like, this is done. It's in the past, and we move on to the next project. Or they might say, hey, there's money to be had on the other platforms, and we'll pay somebody else to port it, or we'll spend the time doing it. But there is no confirmation that it ever will happen. But it may happen, and it's a good thing for every developer or third party out there to say, I'm going to take advantage of every platform as much as possible. In the case of these kind of deals, you will have a delay, right? And Stellar Blade was another one where I think Sony actually ended up paying them to make that game happen, right? So they got a little bit of money up front, and things like that happen. It's fine. And then you kind of have this like year, 2, 3 years, whatever, of exclusivity period. And hopefully it comes to the other platforms, right? But so I don't know how long this is going to stay that way, but I do, I appreciate that they're working on fixing the game, giving you all the features they promised to give you. That is much more important, right? Get that done, and then if they have the time, absolutely bring it to other platforms. But nothing on the books right now. So hey, if you really are a Stalker fan, I'm sure you're already playing it on PC because that's where you're probably playing it. But if you wanted to dabble in this, you still can on a Series S or X. Try it out. What the heck, right? So,
yeah. I mean, listen,
it's
it's a great point. Great points all around, Hargeet. And one of the things that I really have to say that you have to appreciate about something like Game Pass is that it's not loaded with just racers or dude bro shooters. It has something like a Stalker 2. Even though Stalker is a first-person shooter, it really isn't a first-person shooter. It is an open world, tell your own tale, and look around every corner. And that's one of the games that you don't have to play. Again, like for me, it's definitely, I thought it was going to be a Boom like game. And then after dying a gazillion times, playing on normal, by the way, I'm like, yeah, I like what's happening, but it's just when you don't have the time to die 175 times in a couple of hours of play, which I don't have. I'll move on to something that if I'm gonna die, at least I'm doing some ranking, which of course that would be Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So it's fine by me. But Fuzzy, let's get your hot take on the fact that we do have confirmation from the developer that there is no PlayStation 5 version in development. And well, like Hargeet said, there may never will be.
Yeah. Hargeet nailed it. I think the best potential, if you're one of those PlayStation gamers and you're anxiously waiting for it to come to your console, your best hope is when they actually do the multiplayer. That's one of those things that's on the future roadmap for this game. I think it's a couple of years out. It's definitely going to take them some time. I think they're going kind of the opposite route of Tarkov, even though I think with the Stalker franchise being bit older than Tarkov, but I think the grand scheme of things is much like Hargeet said, get this game in a smooth playable state. I mean, for me right now on PC with a NVIDIA card or NVIDIA GPU, it's been fine for me. Haven't had any issues. Are there some bugs or glitches as far as like maybe some graphical things as far as the detail on the wall in like one zone? Yes. But aside from that, I'm pretty sure if I check, it's a couple of days worth of hours put into this game to the point where I think I have one of the best armors. I have the second best armor, or no, the third best armor. Well, for me, it's the best armor right now because of poison and chemical and stuff like that. But I have the exoskeleton armor already. I just don't have the funds or access to the place to be able to upgrade it. But this game is, until Indiana Jones came out, this was my game of the year. It was a much tougher looter shooter than what I might be used to. This is probably the best cross between like if Metro and the Division's, what do you call it? Dark Zone had a baby. Basically, this is like my perfect game for the most part. But for any PlayStation players out there, yeah, like Argy said, your best bet, turn on your PC that you claim you have this expensive gaming rig, or, just pick up a Series S or even a Series X because they're going, at reasonable prices now. And you could probably trade in your either PS5 or your old PS4 at this point and get, at least something off the top to make the, transition that much easier. But for me, I'm just glad that this game is, I'm glad it exists for the fact that it's taken so much for them to dedicate to this game, as well as losing, team members, as well as some of the actors that, you did some of the roles in this game. I know one of the main characters that you deal with is no longer with us because, once again, defending this country. But this game has been awesome to me. PlayStation guys, either get that Xbox or, get your PC up to par and play it then, or, wait, a couple of years possibly, because I think the big thing is they're going to see more of a roadmap for at least the next year and getting this game into, a, picture perfect, although open world, you can't ever really have picture perfect, but as close to that as you can. And then I think from there, they'll start shifting focus to the multiplayer aspect, where if you've ever wanted to see what Escape from Tarkov would look like on a console, this will probably be the closest thing we'll ever get, because I don't think Escape from Tarkov is ever coming to console. So, and that, rightly so, with that being a very heavy survival PC centric game, this is as close as us console players will ever get to that style of game, unless you want to play Division 1 and constantly play a loop of survival. That'd be about the next closest thing. But that's a much smaller map. No RPG elements, no real, upgrades for armor. You're basically trying to survive the the hunters at the end where you try to extract yourself. No real extraction in this currently, but basically you acquiring artifacts and things along those lines, and basically following the main story path. There's so much to this game, but yeah, I would say for Xbox, it was great for them helping get this game to the finish line. Now it's up to GSC to get everything that, given their chaotic state that they've been in the middle of a war. Hopefully they can get everything, tidied up over this next year or two, and then shift focus over to that multiplayer. Because I'm curious to see how punishing that multiplayer is going to be. Yeah, for those that are into PvP, yeah, it might be great, but then you also have to deal with the environment, and I think this environment will make a much more threatening PvE environment. So for PvPvE, I can't wait for that mode to open up. But for right now, if looter shooters, Metro, and survival are your jam, this is your game. And if you're on PlayStation, you have options. Or the other option being to wait. But like Argeet said, it might not ever come. Or my best guess is a couple of years out because of the multiplayer. And I think that's when they'll consider it, or probably have that wrapped into the development of the multiplayer. But